blink, the Panther's gone.
That was frame 1, dude. That was so fast. They said, nah, nope, put that away. And then on the other side, they did ban the torch. The safety pick over to the Emma Frost. Obviously, not so surprised there. Kind of following the tradition between the Emma Frost. We're cycling through with the Magneto. That makes me think 100 Thieves maybe leaning towards a Psylocke here too, as we could see the ban over onto the Wolverine.
I couldn't even conjure the thought out and say, we're going to get some King of Wakanda. Just the ban happening so fast. I think also, though, they probably were ready for that. I think they know what they just showcased at the end there. Guys, if you missed it, go back. I mean, Self legit was just erasing teams. I said yesterday, Invisible Woman yells disappeared. No, it was Self on Black Panther on the back line of strategists. Now, we've got Ultron being banned, taking out some of the Sky there against them. And we've got the Human Torch save, which obviously was from that answer of the Ultron ban. Looking at this, though, I like the target bans thus far. They're focusing Terra. You got Wolverine out. You got a Human Torch out. Punisher. Everything's towards Terra.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, focus on the other side here, too. Luna off the table. The Punisher off the table, too. As they're hovering over what they want to save first. Being able to save that torch, though, is going to be interesting for Ego Death, because you take to the skies. We know what that torch could do from Self. It wasn't just that Black Panther. It was the torch. It was the Wolverine. I think we saw the Iron Fist that one time, too. And it's going to be the safety pick over to the Emma Frost. So I'm expecting the Emma Frost and the Mental Projection Psylocke's coming out. Oh, or maybe not. Never mind.
Yep, exactly the answer. Good counterplay there, and they knew exactly what they needed to do to shut that down. We said it, though. Loki and Luna on the table. You can get rid of all of Terra's threats, but you can't get rid of everything. This last ban probably going to go to Loki, Luna. Obviously, the mag save here, great. We know TTK, who hit an invisible Psylocke yesterday. One of the craziest clips that I have seen, laid my eyes upon on Yggdrasil's path here. They're going with the Loki save. You would think it's a Luna ban. Oh my gosh, they're just target banning in the hardest since Terra.
Wow. Where we're going to see the next ban here. Being able to save that Loki. You won't have the Luna. You won't have the 24 seconds of invincibility here, as the Bucky's the last one to go.
I'm not judging.
I've seen a lot of respect given in form of bans in this tournament, and in my casting career, I've never seen 4 bans all dedicated towards one person's approach. And Terra, though, he can do it all. He can flex it all. Look at, though, he's taking a second. He's like, oh, dang. I mean, they got a lot of my roster here. Now, looking at Team Ego Death, Sombo being able to get that Venom. I like Zatex there on the Punisher, and Self is crazy on Human Torch. Them locking that is huge.
Yeah, them being able to have that safety pick over to the torch is also the indicator that you could expect some flyers here. And we do know that Delena is very good on the Hela, but also is a very good Psylocke. When you have the Emma Frost come by, you know that you can use that mental projection to try to get some more of that burst damage out here too. As we get started for our very first map, our very first round on our final series of the day. This is going to allow our teams here, the winner of this series specifically, will punch their ticket into China.
30% versus 70. We saw the same thing with Nemesis yesterday, but the result was different, and that's a great point. Nemesis blocked Human Torch. You got to get rid of honestly, the craziest carry right now in terms of duelists at pro play, but then they got the Black Panther. This time, Black Panther ban opens the sky for Ignite. That is Human Torch here, and they've got the Invisible Woman team up far. An incredible Invisible Woman at that, being able to now support the shields. This is going to be tough, and they're going to have to lock in Terra on Hela to counter.
See how Terra's been able to do here on this Hela. Just add another one to the arsenal. Terra could just cycle through like a professional Ditto. As over to the sky, Self. Putting in already a good amount of pressure. We know what Self could do, not only on that BP, but here on this torch too. Zatex getting a little bit of those wall hacks on the Punisher before trying to navigate around 100 Thieves. They're playing a little bit split up, making it difficult for Ego Death to finally fixate on only one member before they get the dive to completely jump Zatex.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've not seen Vinny yelling, I could do this all day that often. Not a lot of Captain America play from him, but showcasing it here as TTK on the Emma. We got some different Vanguard picks from these guys, showing they can do it all. And again, it just shows the belief they have in Terra, because Delena is the Hela. Like, that is just the association there. But he does play a great mean Psylocke as well, so giving them that flexibility, and they've got the Echoes. They got that team up with Emma.
And that's with TTK together. You know, TTK, we're so used to seeing him on that Doctor Strange, on that Magneto too, but you have the power, combine that with your own Psylocke, and Delena's been able to get a good amount of that pressure out, whereas Ego Death not having that Loki really hinders the way that SJP can now start this engagement, having that God of Mischief as Delena gets into position.
Yeah, the secret sauce is to shut down these duelists. And right now, Delena and Tara, they're the team to be able to do it. They're doing a great job thus far. Now we've got the Disappear going up in the air. And Self throwing down the Flash Fry that he's trying to get on this team here. Now backing up in good awareness there, trying to stay alive with the team. Eternal Bond going out from Momentum as they lose the momentum early in this first team fight. They've got Stumble, they've got Self, they've got what they need, but 100 Thieves has everything.
And now the Eternal Bond coming out from Harvey too, and that's going to have Ego Death lose out on their Eternal Bond. You get the follow from Sambo just trying to get something going in terms of the pressure, but forced to back away as Harvey deals the finishing blow. Self commits to the Supernova, but you have nobody left to deal with. You have none of your team behind you as Tara gets a 3.
I mean, just seeing what makes 100 Thieves the team to beat, and they're just displaying it right now with calm resilience. My gosh, I mean, Somble did a great job eating up everything there, but the Lanterns doing so much work there, keeping the team alive. A mini ult in the kit for Loki. We've got the Goddess of Death, and they've got the M ult on lock. Self with the Supernova, but 90%, they've got to make a difference here. In the we've seen this time after time, SJP.
Zatex is not allowed to play the game right now. Literally has been the first to get picked off every single time, with Self putting down the Supernova. Now TTK with the Psionic Seduction. They're not afraid while Tara takes to the skies, and Delena continuously harasses this backline. Talk about the communication coming in from 100 Thieves as they dismantle Ego Death already. A 99%, 0% progress from Ego Death in this first round.
They don't have Human Torch, but right now, 100 Thieves, they're the team that's cooking the kitchen closed at the moment for Ego Death. And you're right, Zatex. I mean, they have just completely dismantled the opposition there in Duelist.
So the kitchen's closed. The food was burnt if you're Zatex just trying to figure a way to set up. 0 and 4, not even 3,000 damage on the board yet. You don't have the opportunity here, while Self now with the 7.2k.
I mean, again, we saw this Nemesis, I believe, got the fastest win ever against them in the tournament thus far when they did play on Midtown there. And it's a little bit of feast and famine. They can adapt well. They know what's on the line. They want this so bad. Sample said yesterday, no one wants it more than us. And honestly, I almost believe them with just the way the emotion spread through. But TTK, casual 10-0. We see him on Strange. We see him on Magneto, Vicky. But Emma Frost, 10-0. Are you kidding me?
Self is the only... Okay, Self and Sambo, they're the only 2 players on Ego Death that both have 1 KO each. That is insane with the level of players that we know that they've achieved in terms of the talent. As Self now navigates around back to the point immediately on this torch and still sticking to their guns here on this composition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How many duels are there? 20 plus? You're going to need that many bans to stop Tara and what he can do here. Self throwing down now the fire, trying to get the pressure going. But there's Delena once again getting that pressure on the Flyers there. They needed that against the Sentinels and Iron Man. They're getting the job done here for Self. As now Tara's throwing out the Thorns and the Haymakers, trying to put down some Graves.
See the copy here, the God of Mischief to get the duplicate with the Eternal Bond now moving up together to create the pathing. Invisible Boundary too, just to help out Ego Death stay alive through this Eternal Bond with Momentum doing the same thing on the other side. Psionic Seduction coming in from Soko, had that first before TTK, who will be able to answer right back, but they're going to be able to save that here for now. They're try to jump in as Zatex, all desperate here in trying to get something going, but then you get shut down with TTK holding on to that Psionic Seduction.
They're just emptying the playbook. They're throwing everything, trying to come out with everything. All gas, all old, says Vinny, then gets the pick on Momentum there to get things rolling for the team. It's TTK to follow. And right now, it's just blow after blow. 100 Thieves, they look unstoppable and inevitable.
What? And Delena too, just following up to clean up the other side of Ego Death, just makes up the other side of the sandwich here between Tara and Delena, followed up by Vinny too, just getting these beautiful falls together with Delena.
Absolute insanity here. I mean, 100 Thieves, their coaches, they're probably just dialing up the tickets to China as we speak with this opening play, but there's far from finishing. Best of 5. Self now throwing out. Does have the ult ready. Sambo can join. Sambo going down and low in health, though, taking all the damage with it here. Go with the We Are Venom, getting nothing out of it, though. Momentum Trace gets Terra. That's an early pick to get things going, and Self ulting with the Supernova. Pressure down. Emma out.
Oh, and you see the damage output here, too. This is the opportunity to hold forward, try to get the follow-ups as Sambo does deliver, finds SJP. Big pick here as 100 Thieves now outnumbered, leaving Terra as now Ego Death finally, for the first time in this first map, get to flip the point in their favor.
Someone call the fire department. Beautiful, beautiful job there from Self. But hey, 7% to 44%. Actually not bad considering how that first team fight went. Yeah. But honestly, I do like the trade there. Zatex going to Bucky. He's going to get a bit more there from Winter Soldier, and a great counter to SJP, who really stays on Loki. Even though Harvey is that Loki player, SJP has been playing it for Ignite. Terra, though, with the quick claw, as Zatex showing why Bucky is such a great pick early as they eliminate the Lina. It's opposite of Zatex this time.
Oh, gonna be able to come in to 100 Thieves, though, with the re-engagement. Will at least have the Eternal Bond SJP, too, so they'll be able to live for a long time for this next upcoming fight. But Zatex does have the answer here with the Kraken Impact.
Yeah, Kraken back is going to be huge here. They can go into the invisible boundary as well. They have a lot of follow-up to go. That's going to allow Sambo and Self to build up the charge. SJP is going to have to open up with the ult. As he does, he grabs it now, copies with now the internal bond going out there, copying Harvey, getting the red path for victory for the team, as now both teams are going to go in with ult. Momentum throwing it down as well. Internal bond going. We've got Emma Frost ulting, Soko throwing, and let's see if we can get a pick to open things up for Eagle Tech.
But the Psionic Seduction pulls SJP right there too, but then you have the Kraken Impact. This is the opportunity to keep Zatex alive, but they've lost out on far. Terra terrorizing those backlines, and Zatex with the Kraken Impact that needed to have that progress still was able to find 3. Vinny turns things around with the Freedom Charge, though, tries to keep themselves alive. The stall, though, is even better on this point for Ego Death.
Absolute insanity defying mortality. What Captain America can do there, and Vinny doing a great job. Has the Doctor Strange left. Love the pick, though, from the Bucky, but going to Doctor Strange as well. Portaling back, going right into the team fight. 90% for Ego Death as it ticks up and up. Keep your Town Hall coming out from Terra. Going, we saw this yesterday, throwing the punches out and the ult, the Dragon defense, all of it, the full kit, the Crowded Kid. He's flying around the map.
I was saying, he's fighting Ghost right now. Oh no, and then the final scene before the horror scene begins, the choke slam from TTK now comes in, finds Sambo. Terror goes out. It's a trade from both sides. Self had that Supernova out to control some more space, and far later in uses this invisible boundary. This helps them out. Momentum's close to having that Loki ult, but then TTK has the Psionic Seduction instead. SJP should be able to move up with the rest of the team to get that Loki ult first.
Whoa, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man is coming to the action here. Zatex trying to get to the point fast. Soko with a clean pick and the finish on Vinny. SJP, though, with that internal bond copy, going to give that team a little bit more life here, but the team's able to match it back. Momentum going with Soko trying to kneel. Hesitance in front of him as Emma Frost pushing them against the wall, but the Lanterns come out, keeps the team alive. But Zatex with the quick 1-2 finish. They get the point.
Off the Spider-Man from the desperate swap to get back into the fight after they went down early in that last fight. That was beautiful. That was with Ego Death making that flip, and they never lost it.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Hall, you name it. They're all happy over there just to see some representation in rivals at the top level of play. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Those bans, 4 of them, all of them going towards Terra. Terra can play anything, but when things need adjustments, Vicky, there's just way less of a pool to choose from, right? And they were able to absolutely capitalize on that. Look at the stats, completely flip around. Momentum, giving them that momentum. 31k healing, 8k damage to boot.
I mean, when you got to deal with everybody target banning what your strong suits are, it is hard. But the adjustments we already saw from Terra in that first round was just on another level. Trying to cycle through those strategist ults too was a little difficult, just coming a little short in comparison to the survivability that we saw from Ego Death. But Zatex with that win condition was beautiful.
Yeah, and when your superstars are shut down, you need your not your backups, but your seconds to kind of step up, and they're doing that. Delena, Vinny, they're popping off. They're getting the job done. They played great, but it was not enough here. Sambo does have the Symbiote Feast to open things up right away. Maybe bait out this Harvey ult, or just going in and yelling, "We are Venom," and wrapping the fight up for the leftovers here as Self pushes in.
And diving in to get to that extra top shield before getting that impact onto Delena. That's the first to go. That's a big first pick too, as Delena was trying to get into position to have the dance of butterflies and to activate here onto the back line. Ego Death now looking beyond. Zaytex gets called out first, forcing Far to have this invisible boundary. Big first pick though off of Harvey after using this Eternal Bond. We are Venom together. Sabo tries to move in, keep up the pressure, but with Terra having the extermination and now going over to the Ultron, having the ultimate online already for the beginning was huge.
That last bit of extermination gets the elimination there. Sommel feasts and gets the Loki return. SJP going down, but it's going to be 100 Thieves that clean up. Self, though, showing what they can do on Human Torch and trying to throw out the flames, but is going to go down. And did I hear Supernova? Did I hear an ult go off? Yes, I think I did. He lost it. Oh, God.
Oh, no. That was like a Hail Mary back away or maybe a Fat Finger or something like that because... That's tough because Momentum's literally about to have the God of Mischief and Zaytex too with that Kraken impact to look at 100 Thieves.
I mean, that could have been the combo that they needed there. Zaytex, though, locked and loaded, Kraken impact. We saw what he could do earlier. He's looking to feast off SJP. He can throw the lanterns down, but it's going to give him the reset, the momentum, and right away, things are going out. A symbol yells Vinny as he's pushing into the team. Momentum with the support, keeping everybody alive right now. Itself throwing down those fires. Boy, you wish he does have those Supernova, but doesn't as teams are pushing in and pushing out. 100 Thieves right now with confidence.
That Eternal Ball that was just floating over their heads too, by the way, before the point drops all the way down. Soko uses up the Psionic Seduction, Far's close to that invisible boundary, as well as Sabo gets that big pick onto Delena, very close to that dance of butterflies, and Self follows up off of Sabo. This is the communication that we expect when it comes to Ego Death, and they are wiping out 100 Thieves this time. They needed to flip this point, as 100 Thieves get 61% in their favor.
My gosh, I mean, Sabo just absorbing everything, the bullets, the cooldowns, maybe a little bit of 100 Thieves confidence there, Vicky. Great job. Did you see Self there on the cam? I mean, just going wild there and absolute crazy as we've got the tentacles coming out and the stats as well. We're seeing the job well done there from the entire team. Self here, 23K up, 8K down. Both strategists in Ego Death absolutely crushing it. Actually, 30K across all strategists in healing. Good stuff.
The TTK is putting in the damage output here too. The ramps are forced out. Harvey uses the Eternal Bond to try to push into the point with the pathing. It is answered to try to negate more of that healing with the invisible boundary as the Eternal Bond just lasts a bit longer out here. But Zaytex coming in again and again with this Kraken impact, followed up with Sabo to get whoever he hits here. Needs some help with the Vinny. You see Sabo swinging in to try to take that, and you can't go anywhere if you're in front of Zaytex.
Call it emotion, call it magic. We know how bad this team wants to make it to land, and they're showcasing it right now against one of America's best. I mean, just the turnaround, the flip of the script on the first map, Vicky. Impressive stuff from Ego Death. Winner takes this map, and it's an important one to set the momentum.
This game is crazy with the way that both these teams have just flipped this point back and forth for this third round, and that first pick onto SJP is even bigger when you're treading nearly 80%. The back cap right behind them. They have to go right behind, but they're still putting in the pressure on the front lines.
I mean, all these heroes almost eliminated. They all have specs of help, but surviving. Self just dishing it, throwing out the fire. Somebody call the fire department. I think it's too late as Self throws it down. 91%. We have Terra now going over to Strange for the last portal.
Oh, some desperate plays here. Terra coming in off the portal. Vinny tries to use the freedom charge, the overtime, as Sabo comes in with the Venom ultimate. Everyone unleashes everything that they have, but Delena finding Self and Far puts 100 Thieves in the driver's seat. They have the number advantage as they're able to try to flip this point.
Every single Q pressed outside of SJP. I know Galactus says Neil, it was TTK that time with the follow-up and the alley-oop from Delena. They used it all the economy to get that point, which they needed to get the map. But now it's Ego Death. They've got Soko. They're getting close to the Kraken impact, but even more so as the fight prolongs, they're going to be able to have that ult advantage. Harvey, really the only thing even close to keep this team alive in the fight for a small bit, but we've seen 100 Thieves. They're so good in the neutral. Can they do it?
All comes down to this, nearing 90% now in favor for 100 Thieves. Delena, though, needs that crucial first pick onto self, who was taking so much damage. Sambo, too, tries to go back to the safety of their team, but cannot get away. Stuck because TTK has been on fire this game. The Psionic Seduction momentum gets the copy, tries to get the Invisible Man as far, so close to also having that ultimate. Zatex has a cracking impact.
He gets 3. That's insane. They were able to go great with the kneeling of Peasants of Emma, and now Zatex unable to get the resets unless he gets that small hit. No, it's going to be too late to get the reset, but he does. He's able to get the elimination on TTK. Goddess of Death goes up from Terra, throwing down the crows and getting a pick. There is Delena. 1, making 2 dashes. It's 99 to 99 overtime. Both teams want it so desperately. This is their ticket to land, and it looks like 100 Thieves were able to keep the point, and they get the map. No, I'm sorry. Ego Death. My gosh.
Ego Death, man. Ego Death. At the very end, 100 Thieves got off here. You saw Delena having their own pop-off moment, it looked like there. But with momentum coming in as the MVP, the Loki plays to try to deny that away from the output of pressure that we saw from the Duelist was scary.
Yeah, deceived by the feed over there. I mean, I saw 100 Thieves and what they were doing at the end there, just by nature. The point I thought was with them, but no, it was Ego Death all the way. And my gosh, for the first time, what an incredible matchup between these two teams here. As just looking across the board, Vicky, what more can you ask for from all of them?
It's just, it's very valid, Cozy, because Delena was popping off in the feed, 15 final hits, like, was following up great. But at the end, Sambo was splitting a lot of that attention. Despite being the first to go down at the hands of TTK, they had just gotten off the point at the very end before trying to reclaim that, even if they had that number advantage. But still incredibly close. Even better, though, for Ego Death, you try to focus all these bans onto that one target player that is causing the most chaos. But I hope this was a testament to showcase that why you cannot ignore Delena.
Yeah, honestly, you know, even gods can bleed. We saw it right there. They figured out how to at least slow down Terra a little bit, and that opens up the floor massively. And just great strategy from Coach Jitward over there, who came in with this game plan for the team. And I've got to say, Vicky, to have that map 1 happen like it did, and to have that bounce back on as just a new team without the org, that's impressive.
Remember, they're really big fans of FaZe, by the way. Unsigned org, free agents, cough, cough. And seeing it the way that they've been able to play, Sambo was showcasing their passion on the interview yesterday. Got some more of these follow-ups. They made the changes that they need. They still enabled self on this torch. Hey, your feet don't have to touch the ground when you're alongside Sambo, literally flying in on top of the web.
Yeah, and just getting it done with Venom at the tank, like just doing it differently. That's been the story of
massive amounts of hamburger damage, literally just hurtle in everyone's direction. Dude, that was with him having a messed up hand. So mad props over there, because that's very impressive. I don't know if anybody on average, even on their like A1 day game, could even like provide that damage output. But we start off with the band here. The Black Panther, by the way, focused frame 1 once again.
That burger definitely be cooked to medium well, as Torch is locked in, loaded. Had a feeling, again, he could get rid of Panther, not both of them. And why switch after that map? Heck, they even gave it away. Supernova, they threw it to the sky. But it doesn't matter, as they still got the win. Ultron ban, of course, to match that Torch. And it looks like the same strategy. Let's go ahead and let's shut down Terra the Terrible. And Punisher was the hero that did it last time against Shroud X on this map. They're going to shut that down as they think over it. Yep, it's going to go to Punisher.
Definitely, I agree with this, because the verticality, obviously, you've already saved the torch. You know that you're going to be in the skies no matter what. You're going to lean into that with self, because you know that they're going to constantly be banning the Black Panther. And then on the other side, too, the fact that, you know, you're going to be able to cancel out that Wolverine and cancel out the Luna Snow, though, on the other side. Pretty big here, too, and just trying to figure that out, just trying to deny that combination with the Loki.
This is where, though, going all duelist can haunt you, because I'm telling you, Groot is a great hero to ban here. Vinny on this map, he plays it to perfection, as they're looking for the save there. And they're showing the Spider-Man for a quick laugh, but SJP going to get that Loki back. They're going to have the access. Probably Zatex going back to Bucky with it here. And for the ban, again, it's just all for Terra. They're not worried about the other positions. You shut down the superstar, and you can get a chance to punch your ticket to history and land in China here as the teams lock in.
Wow. Ego Death's coach really has told them all the strats right now on what they need to do and focusing on this ban phase. You know, talking a little bit to Somble in that interview and the things that have just completely changed for this team and how they've approached more of these matches. Like, not only is just, this is a Cinderella story of a team, literally a bunch of friends just grouped up together, have decided to play the game at the highest level against these tier 1 teams, but now we're getting into the nitty-gritty on finding these bans, these safe picks to play into their strengths and deny that from the opposing team being Terra, but you cannot ignore the outcome from Delena.
Yeah, guys, one team walking away with another win or an additional win at that. Ego Death, we know how much they want it. They need to play calm, cool, collected after all the emotions. They come with the highs, they can come with the lows, and 100 Thieves, we saw what they can do in what is pretty much their home court in Asgard as the team set up, and we set up our second match.
Getting ready, Ego Death. They took the first map, but it was a little finicky, honestly, with the way that looked out, and they still were able to take the W. Going next now, 100 Thieves are going to be able to be on the attack here first.
Yeah, I like it there. 100 Thieves trying to get pressure going. Zaytek's not going to be on that bucket to get things started here.
Wow.
Love the approach. They're sticking with the same team comp, and honestly, I think it's just fine outside the Punisher. The difference, they need something to burn through what I thought was going to be Groot walls, but no, it's going to be Vinny again on Captain America self, though, picking right where he left off. He's roasting. He's toasting. My gosh, what a start in the stagger.
Delena being the first one out allows Ego Death to just build into more of these ultimates. Same thing, though, technically could be said about Harvey. And as 100 Thieves do have SJP and the flexibility of having that Luna, that's going to be that combination of the 24 seconds of survivability that 100 Thieves are building into.
As they make their way around the corner, TTK just farming up that beam up to 100. Maximum damage and maximum overdrive. As Somble, though, gets to pick up Delena again. Delena going down twice to open up the match. And there's just so much pressure from the flames of Selpin and the Symbiote and Venom of Somble. But there's that early takedown. Soko going a little bit too far.
Yeah, way overextended right there from Soko. And you were building into that Psionic Seduction too. Far has the invisible boundary because they want to still hold this positioning around this next corner as Harvey matches that with the dance off on the Fate of Both Worlds after getting that copy off the Loki. Then on the other side, though, Momentum tried to do the same thing, at least taking to the sky, it sounds like, instead. As Terra is just going to be able to take down Momentum in that attempt.
Yeah, unfortunately, Momentum going down and not only get the team wipe, but the ult not going to make... I mean, those stretch ults come so important for these matchups here. Far now going over to the portal, trying to bring now the final judgment and the supernova to them. That's a lot of firepower, Vicky.
Get ready for the recontest, though. Off the Doctor Strange portal before Far jumps in with the rest of Ego Death looking to the side as Zaytek comes out with the final judgment. Nice protection as Far looks at the Hela in the skies. But before Zaytek could even press a button on the final judgment, they are shut down thanks to Terra. Delena is the finishing blow. Just add the cherry on top to wiping out the rest of Ego Death.
And they did so great tracking Terra the Terrible with the ult. They came out there, Far went up, did the job, blocked the ult, but my gosh, you can't block the Thorns as they get rid of the final judgment and take down Zaytek. And then Delena with the cleanup. Beautiful job.
They didn't have the survivability right there, whereas SJP did. That's what goes great when it comes to staggering more of these support ultimates, as Ego Death will have self, at least with the Supernova in this re-engagement. Looking to the other side is Sombo already trying to get into position to prevent any sort of shenanigans from 100 Thieves up on this high ground, specifically from Delena, who's trying to get into positioning.
Delena, every cut intentional, every dash is personal. It's all here for land now as we've got the kneeling happening, pushing for itself, throwing out the tornadoes and the Supernova, trying to get that pick here, and Delena does get the secure, but it leaves the team here a bit vulnerable. Now we have, oh gosh, we got Sombo going down. He can only soak up so much, Vicky.
TTK is not letting Sombo have any fun. This Emma Frost is just way too strong from TTK. It was the most damage output, I believe, that we even saw from 100 Thieves. Tries to get the grab off of the torch self, just juking around, breaking some ankles with the Psionic Seduction now from Soko to match that against Vinny, and the Freedom Charge being on the Captain America. Tries to dive into the backline, gets frozen in the process before backing away, and the invisible boundary from Far just keeps Ego Death more forward, allowing them to have the more positional advantage versus 100 Thieves.
Couldn't ask for better ult usage there from Ego Death. Using the entire Symbiote on one is fine, but does not come away with the pick, and instead it gets eliminated. That was perfection by Ego Death outside of the last play there. Unfortunate there. You got to go for it all. You got to take big risks to get big rewards. And here comes Delena going and soaring with the dance of the butterflies and does not get a pick, but Terra eliminates the Loki.
turning things around before the re-engage and getting that pick onto momentum. Big here as far as going to build into that invisible boundary. And Delena, who had already used the Dance of the Butterflies, just trying to move up here alongside the rest of 100 Thieves. But with TTK having Psionic Seduction, keep an eye for that.
Yeah, here they're going to look to combo this here. Far does have the invisible boundary into that final judgment for the big hits here. But there we go. We got Terra throwing down the thorns. He's got to get into that invisible boundary. And he's able to stay alive and dish out the bullets. So Self going down. And unfortunately, they're losing all of the momentum. As momentum is still up, gets the ult. They're keeping the stretches alive. The shields are up. Vicky, they're able to keep this thing going.
And that's what the invisible boundary is still providing, the healing output for Zatex, while Harvey moving up together with Delena too. The damage output as well from Terra is just way too much to deal with. Finny follows up, takes care of this backline, and Ego Death, or Ego No More, with the way that 100 Thieves are not going to be able to clear this for the second checkpoint.
Got a great call out here. Harvey finally taking over the Loki reins once again. And again, we have not seen him on Loki all that much, but at least recently, it's fun to watch him go at it as the god himself, the goat of Loki. Delena with that Dance of the Butterfly, getting some early poke damage and knowing exactly where that team's going to go here. Right now, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 100 Thieves is put on a clinic.
Self building into that ultimate too. Self on the other side trying to wrap around in a much more ceiling area of this point, specifically the supernova coming out to just force 100 Thieves back. But I usually get a little worried here when it comes to flyers before this third checkpoint, because you could get called out even though you have these pillars. The freedom charge to charge charging into that backline of Ego Death, needing a little bit of help as far backs away. Self tries to follow up, and Delena trying to provide the output alongside Vinny, who's taking a lot of damage with the Dance of Butterflies.
R going down at 84% is crucial. Terra with the 1, 2, 3. You can't stop him. Terra the Terrible getting it done. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left. They're going to have one more chance to contest here. They do have ults close to ready, but right now, 100 Thieves, they have all the momentum. It's going to be near impossible for Ego Death to get this.
Terra the Terrible, Terra the Terror. It's just scary here, no matter how you want to frame it. The Psionic Seduction now from TTK. Yes, with the bubble coming out online too, just to help them out. The invisible boundary to just retouch though, after losing out Ensemble first again.
Yeah, right now it's just trying to burn time, and at least that invisible boundary is going to give you a little bit of time. Look at that perfect placement of the shield from Emma to keep the Goddess of Death at bay, but Harvey and Delena are cleaning up the scraps. Kraken Impact going out, trying to get those resets on Loki, but it's too late. They focus him down. They take him down. Minute and 24, and right now 100 Thieves, they are locking them up and throwing away the key.
Good luck trying to recontest that with a Kraken Impact while you're staring at the Ultra of Fate of Both Worlds. Luna Snow just having the dance off of their life to keep the rest of 100 Thieves alive without having to worry to get that payload to the finish line there.
Just insanity. And you know what? I love the confidence. Again, we've said this in Terra. They go with the Emma lock instead of like a Terra duelist. And I think that's so important because you're able to shut down what Sombo was doing with Venom combined with Self on Torch. And now, getting a little bit of question on what they're going to lock in. It looks like they're going to stick with what they had. We just watched them fall on domination on map 1, and then they take 2 right back. And so this team can adapt, right? Previously to what we could say in the group stage here. But 100 Thieves, they looked relentless.
It's perfect in terms of their composition because we have so much follow potential. That's why I keep repeating it, because you have Vinny coming in to jump on top of whoever Delena wants to focus. And SJP, by the way, has still been able to put in pressure from afar, being on that Luna Snow. Taking a look at the stats alone here, Harvey with the 25.5k healing output. Like 4 of the members here on 100 Thieves have just not died.
Yeah, and funny enough, I was just about to say, I want Sambo to go to Captain America. We've seen him play both. He played both at excellent level yesterday, and it looks like going back. Oh, no, they're going to go. You know what? I thought they were going to do this potentially, and the Wolf was not an option last time, but they do have the fastball special. So instead of Cap, he might be the thing for a bit here to get the Wombo combo out. Self-Ego Death. They want it badly. They need a big offensive effort here. And oh my gosh, the steal fly on TTK into the back line, and the rip and shift as they're trying to get him down, and he escapes. What?
I'm actually so surprised. That had to have been a placement from Harvey with those Loki clones and the lamp too, because we saw him just get immediately taken down, isolated, and still ended up surviving. Huge here, and that's TTK, by the way, not even the Captain America from Vinny.
That was so insane of a survival. Getting out there, you had 6-on-1 and able to get out of there. That's the power of Loki, and more specifically Harvey, as Delena now feasting. Had a crazy first round here, going for more in the back line of the strategist here with the Echoes. But it's the pull in, the grapple. One of the biggest counters is going to be Bucky and Zatex with the 1-2. They've got the Legends on their side now as they push forward the momentum.
That's big first pick here, too. They have to ride with this momentum. Having that ultimate gets the copy here, too. Gets the invisible boundary. While Zatex combined that with Self are just terrorizing the rest of 100 Thieves right now. This is the wake-up that we needed to see with SJP going down. That means you won't have the fate of both worlds from the Luna Snow.
Absolutely huge here. Again, it was that Captain America pick, the fastball special for the fast start here. Now we're going to get Vinny coming in with Doctor Strange. That's going to remove the Captain America, Captain Survival. Here, they're going to have one more time to stop the point. Last time, 100 Thieves got the job done with ease here. Zatex has Kraken Impact. They're going to open with the dance floor, dropping the beat.
Not even surprised. This has to be the recon here from 100 Thieves. And TTK also has that Psionic Seduction. This could stop Zatex from having the ultimate utility here. Soko, too, from the other side. Delena, though, jumps on top of the backline. Vinny holds the front together with the Dance of Butterflies as 100 Thieves wipe the floor from Ego Death.
The full wipe, the full team wipe. I mean, absolute insanity, full commit, full belief in their team, and full control right now. They needed that because there was 2 minutes on the clock. That's an eternity on this map. They still have the Kraken Impact. They did save at least the ults they have in response here. They can open up with Emma on Soko and go into that, but they also have Self. They've got what they need to get this point right back. No portal this time for 100 Thieves.
Look at the communication right here. Ensemble jumps on top of the Captain America, the Freedom Charge, the Psionic Seduction, but holding a different split angle from 100 Thieves. I love this. Allows the lamps to come out. The Kraken Impact. Limited time bank. 1 minute 30 seconds now ticking away as Self and Zatex still are able to find these crucial picks to allow Ego Death to get this first checkpoint. But still, a recon is still viable here for 100 Thieves if they're able to get through that choke.
Great job there, and patience for himself too, not emptying the entire ult economy and having the Supernova to have more push here. Harvey with the quick wipe to get back with his team, but the pressure, the W keys are held down to the max as they are just pushing with anger, with vengeance, with belief, Vicky, that they can do it.
The way that they're holding all the way forward, pressing into their face of this next choke by the stairwell before backing away, getting all together on top of that payload so that way they can get some extra speed. But together, 100 Thieves will be able to re-engage. Tara's got the Goddess of Death, Harvey with the God of Mischief instead, and Ego Death, they do have momentum afar to try to counteract it.
Now, Harvey will be able to keep the team alive a little bit. Going to have to be quick on the trigger here, and he's already going to go into it ahead of time. We got the Supernova, and it was momentum, though. Powers are his right now. Supernova going up, and the dance floor dropping down. We have both Lunas up, 12 seconds of teams being immortal, but oh my gosh, Terrace one-shot and self-finishes, cleans it up medium well, and the pressure now 6v5.
Oh, it's the Luna wearing the Loki wig instead out here, too. Just keeping everyone alive before now the real Luna comes in from SJP to have the dance off with the fate of both worlds. The invisible boundary now from far, enabling Self to keep up the pressure from the skies because they are not getting checked right now. TTK does have the Psionic Seduction, but 100 Thieves backline is in trouble.
Yeah, and TTK going from the front, and it is Delena with the Dance of Butterflies in the back. They get one trade, but they get the job done. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. They used a lot, though, Vicky, to secure that hold. Now, this is going to be tough because that point is so close for 100 Thieves to get back to this. This has got to be perfect play.
I was saying that the backline was in trouble, and Harvey just completely shut down any attempt of aggression from Self the moment that he did that torch dive down onto the ground. And yet, the fact that it was such an expensive fight here, too. At least Ego Death, though, have 3 coming up. Momentum slowly approaching that God of Mischief.
Yeah, they have everything they need. No strategist ults to defend on the side of 100 Thieves. And yeah, you know, Self used everything to get Terra out of the fight with Hela and then didn't have those flame balls to kind of crash into fast enough. And the team was able to get the momentum going here as now we are going to be led by Somble, the head of the Avengers. That is Ego Death into 100 Thieves, who many look at as villains. It's good guys versus bad. Potentially, no, they're all great as we get that Kraken Impact up, down, ram down in the choke.
Oh no, and the Emma Frost isn't enough either because again and again we go. go into the Zaytech show as the Captain America tries to jump away. Vinny trying to get some sort of cover as Tara took to the skies. So SJP coming in with Harvey actually being on the Goddess Mischief. Gonna have the dance off with a Phantom Full Force from Soko, then getting the next pick. Eagle Death are still able to find these picks despite through these ultimates from 100 Thieves.
Like a horror movie, here's Funky as Zatex goes blow for blow there with the team. TTK, though, is going to give it a self. That's a massive change in...
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Momentum trades, but Vinny get the job done. They don't have firepower right now. Both duelists are out. 40 seconds left, and the point right here. Walking distance for 100 Thieves. Exactly what I was talking about. I've seen so many teams here, Vicky, unable to finish the exclamation point here, and it makes it so tough.
I wanted to see where Delena was right there because I feel like I just saw Far come back and then just immediately died right there. So Delena maybe just stalking about before coming back together with the rest of the team, and does have the Dance of the Butterflies and SJP with the reset as Eagle Death in less than 15 seconds at the retouch.
Supernova ready to go, but the dance floor from SJP is ready as well. Dance of the Butterflies look for Delena to go to that backline and get rid of the healing, and they're going all for self right now as we've got Sarah on Iron Fist with the auto lock. They know those super tornadoes are coming out any moment here. Great awareness.
Talk about timing with the Psionic Seduction overtime. SJP fighting Sambo. Huge first pick as a Supernova wraps around the back end of 100 Thieves itself, who gets taken down instead. Far and Zatex meet them back in the spawn, and it's looking like a full hold in favor for 100 Thieves.
Call them inevitable. 100 Thieves, this is their map, and goodness, the sweat is incredible. The play, even better. Insanity as 100 Thieves make this an even series, 1-1.
I was saying it looks pretty shaky despite that map 1 win. We saw what really happened at the very end, getting off the point and what could be considered the C9, maybe even with Self just floating slightly above it so that way they can stay in control. But 100 Thieves, they clapped back here for map number 2 as we take a look at the stats here in general. But Terra with 27.9k damage. TTK, another whole problem. This Emma Frost has been so beautiful in favor for this team.
Yeah, Harvey with 12k damage and the 46k. Absolute incredible work there from 100 Thieves. And I mean, that's the problem with that point. That walkback is so close. And if you don't seal the deal, even with Zatex just popping off there with Bucky, what we saw in the final elims from the Kraken Impact was not enough. And 1-1, you got to bring everything perfect against this team as we watch the highlights.
Terra on fire, Delena following up. You could focus all your bans on Terra, but Delena will still be the problem. Alongside that of Vinny, I feel like the combination of the Psylocke dive opportunities with the Captain America, Terra from afar, still terrorizing and putting in the damage output before turning into the Goddess of Death. And Eagle Death, they also made some of those adjustments too. Zatex had a great pop-up opportunity with this Kraken Impact just to get this initial first checkpoint.
I've got to say, I mean, I'm watching this back. Zatex got 3 eliminations. Terra going up at the perfect...
100 Thieves, though, they just have their numbers with the way that they've been able to play as we take a look at the auto ban once again onto the Black Panther.
Yeah, there's going to... Guys, I'm telling you right now.
It's gonna keep happening.
There's gonna be no Black Panther today. 100 Thieves, they saw it. They saw the result. Unfortunately, Team Nemesis, they were the victims to what was the now everybody homework that they're copying here. Again, it's going to be the Terra ban. They're going to get rid of these duelists. We already know the song and dance. There's going to be the Human Torch Protect here into the Ultron ban. And Central Park has also been pretty history repeating itself too. Eco Death does like this map a lot. Outside of one matchup against Envy, Vicky, they've done great here.
Thinking that they're probably going to try to stick, yeah, it looks like they're sticking to very similar outlook and saving the Torch. They had banned the Wolverine, the Punisher, and the old, yeah, the verticality too on this map, something else. We highlighted this in the last series, just being able to have more of those flyers to navigate around these taller buildings really helps out.
Yeah, but this is one of those maps where, yes, you can get rid of Black Panther, but giving Torch to somebody on this map is dangerous, right? You're playing with fire quite literally. It's his best map, in my opinion. It's built for him. It came out the same season he did. Heck, they showed it on his trailer as they throw down the fireballs to make the wall around that first cap point. Luna being banned, though, in response, and look at that. We've got a Loki ban to shut down Harvey, and that's going to open up at least one of his picks.
That's huge. I love the fact that they banned Loki. Harvey was a huge problem, and this also enables Self being on this torch to get more of these dive aggression opportunities without the lamps coming out as they get the protect on the sidelock.
Yeah, this is much different here as we have Zatex on Psylocke, and I'm wondering if they're going to go with a Punisher protect here. They don't have Punisher. Now, it was Bucky and Punisher for the bans last time up top there. Now, not the case. Now, on top of that, without the Emma save, Soko isn't going to be able to play Emma. They do have the Psylocke for Zatex. They're setting up their duelist to send them and help them punch their ticket in. And for the save, ooh, I like the Cloak and Dagger. You need one of them, especially for Harvey, who does play Cloak when not on Harvey, or not on Loki here. And for the last ban, Punisher probably. Oh, they're gonna, wow, they're gonna allow the Punisher.
Okay, so they think the Buck. I was gonna say the Punisher would make way more sense here.
Yeah, I mean, Punisher's obviously just in a very good place right now, but the snowball potential we saw it with Zatex.
Again.
He can amplify that, yeah, so much. With, again, he turns a snowball into an avalanche, Terra, so they're trying to shut that down. Obviously, that's going to mean Terra's going to, well, no, he's going to Punisher. Come on, he has Hella on. I think he's noticing right now, like, hold on. Because the big thing about this is it gives Delina the ability to play... has to play somebody else and not Hella what they're comfortable on. But this is a great Psylocke map for them. And this new Emma Frost opening has given them so much potential with the team up.
It's so much damage output too, just right off the rip. If you could get just a sudden assassination onto one of those strategists in the back line, you could go the distance. And that's something that Ego Death don't have in their favor. Yes, they have the Psylocke Protect. Yes, they have the Psylocke in general, but they don't have the Emma Frost power up, so the damage will be a little bit different.
Absolutely. Here as we head into Central Park, yet again, New York. It is late at night in New York. It's late in America as we have Ego. Ooh, wow. Ego Death having 41% of votes. Not bad. People believe in the comeback. Maybe it's the flame on, game on that we are going to see from Self. Again, no question about it. Self just such an elite talent for this team as we now have 100 Thieves on offense. Vinny, the group GOAT. He's locked in.
Vinny having a good amount of other vanguards to work off of. We get to see the empty home of Squirrel Girl before everyone comes out. Ego Death holding this next angle by the bridge with Self taking to the skies. And Terra is going to be the terrorizer from the ground just to provide that extra pressure away from Self.
Yeah, we've got Somble on his own. This is where he popped off as Venom last time here, but also we've seen the Feast and Famine approach quite literally as Self throwing down the flames. And honestly, Terra knows why he picked Hella. He's got to handle what Self is going to be, and that is going to be an absolute misery as right now 100 Thieves just holding down W, going forward, making their space and pressure known.
They have no issue, though, taking their time, methodical, as Delena tried to get into a flanking angle to continuously harass Self. They've wrapped around in a different formation here. The group walls are pulled up, and Zatex was still able to find Delena right before Harvey had activated the Eternal Bond.
Ooh, Terra does get that trade, though, so that at least evens the playing field. Terra now just going on a tear once again with the 1-2 pops of the headshot. This man injured hand and all. He wants it. You can see it. That's 3 for him and 5 for the team.
Hella is so insane. Like, the way that Terra could just work into what you have after getting target banned, the recontest on Zatex too, off of the portal to help out the rest of Ego Death. They have momentum, and the invisible boundary is going to get copied instead. Far will have it slowly approaching. Sombo being on the Venom could get the reset with the Venom ultimate.
Yeah, and just a huge pick there, getting down Terra, now following Harvey. That's going to be the team to where they're going to have to push back. Now, they do get the second cap just barely, which is good news for them. They get that checkpoint, right? And here comes the Agamotto by Zatex. He comes in with the portal. He leads in with the eye open wide. It's the choke, the slam, the kick on the Wizard. The disrespect to Strange as now pushing in. Delena trying to get something going, but does not succeed.
That was a whole lot of ults for a whole lot of nothing right there from both sides here. Just even grounds while TTK pushes up with the Psionic Seduction. Terra is about to take to the skies, and Harvey having that sustainability that Ego Death will not have. This could cost him this fight right here. Unless Soko can nail this hit. As he does, though, he looks back, and nobody else left from the rest of Ego Death. Well, they were so fixated on the Cloak and Dagger, and now 100 Thieves get to walk in.
It's a great effort. All that power is 0 punctuation initially with all those ults, but the fight was won in the neutral. They can also open up with the Goddess of Death if they so choose. Often we've been seeing Terra kind of use this when the battle is going crazy as a distraction of focus, which is a great way to call attention and get a little bit of pressure taken off those strategists in the vanguards.
also really help when it comes to having to reset here. Terra looking up, try to check self. Sombo does get hit with the crystal, having to back away, taking a lot of that damage here. This allows Self to now move up while Zatex is building into that dance of butterflies. With Terra going down first, though, this is great, at least in terms of holding this next corner positioning, because holding this high to low ground really helps out for the second checkpoint.
Great wombo combo with Bar keeping Self protected there with the shield from Terra, throwing down the thorns here. Looking at ult charge, SJP can lock things in, get that momentum push with the dance. Zatex, though, could also change the script. No, it's the dance of butterflies into exactly the fate of both worlds, and now dashing forward, trying to get the elimination is the side lock here. Nothing to come from it so far. Every button getting pressed, and right now everybody's surviving, and there it is. Terra right on cue, going up in the skies and throwing it down and going down himself, at least in his ult form.
But Momentum and Farhad use those ultimates side by side, back to back, and no stall. Yes, 100 Thieves are going down, though, with Vinny going down while using the Gru ult. 100 Thieves with Delena having that Psylocke dance of butterflies. We're waiting out on those support ults from Ego Death to maybe try to time it and stagger those ults themselves, but then everybody else was going down from 100 Thieves, so you couldn't even pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh, Groot just completely chopped Timber. He yells as he was Groot. Now he is Groot again in 10 seconds. Now pushing forward, Soko keeping that damage pressure on. We saw Soko yesterday get so many picks in the neutral. As bright like a star is the Supernova King of Self. Throwing it up, throwing it down is Soko and getting the connection in the dunk.
Huge connections that we're seeing more consistently from Soko, getting the cloak and dagger again, while SJP being on this Luna, slowly approaching that fate of both worlds. While Self is still just continuously going in with these daggers. Now next onto Vinny.
Now, after that insane push, great job in just a stout defense here. 2 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time, but a great effort here thus far. As now, if you look at the ult economy, you got momentum coming close. Zatex does have that dance coming. But 100 Thieves, they're creeping ever closer. TTK could open.
Taylor gonna do it with the Sonic Seduction. Will he use that to prevent the backline from having those ultimates? Far and Momentum are very close, but that's how you do it with the first pick onto Self. Very big first pick at that. Everybody else ends up falling here right afterwards, with Sombom being the next one to meet up Self in the spawn room doors. So does Zatex, and 100 Thieves off that one pick alone onto Self. That's enough of the damage pressure off their backs.
I mean, absolute insane job from Terra, signing every thorn in cursive with his name and the death certificate of Ego Death as they push forward here. Plenty of time, though. Sombo all ready to go with the dance. Delena and him trading each other here. And there he is, Sombo diving in and getting the pressure on Delena.
Basically saying that Terra was writing out Self's name in the death note at this point, and the activation of the dance with the fate of both worlds, trying to deny that from the dance of butterflies. TTK with another choke slam onto Zatex, who had nothing going on here. The group ult this up from Vinny, 2 times a charm if you could combine everyone together, everyone with one big group hug, as Ego Death just ends up falling again.
Vanguard on Vanguard. Violence, perfect ult execution. My gosh, just incredible coordination. And you can see just the telepathy, the teamwork, and the just perfect coordination. And hey, they're all together in the same room, and they are celebrating, at least that point, as they push forward. Sombo, Far, and Soko, they've had their ults for a while now, Vicky. They've got to make use of this. Only 1 minute, 42 seconds left. That's not a lot of time to get through this.
Wonder who could win right now with the way that Terra's been playing. Can it be 100 Terras versus 1 Gorilla maybe? With Sabo coming in, finding Terra the biggest threat. I love the fixated focus here from Ego Death, and the Supernova in this side room before you get to the stairs is so lethal with what little room you have to really work off of the coverage.
Yeah, great job from the Eternal Bomb, but awesome job from Delena, putting the pressure on Self, forcing him to kind of push back with the Supernova, as now they're pushing forward here. And right now, Sambo, Far, Soko, let's make something happen. We are Venom up, down, does get huge damage on Vinny there. The Groot, the invisible bouncer going up. Soko taking down Delena, and Terra going down to follow.
Now they're going to completely jump TTK, who's trying to get away. SJP and Harvey meet their demise, while TTK is just trying to jump behind the spawn room doors. Ego Death are pressing them back in their spawn.
This is going to come down to Zatex getting this ult and getting a pick early, because 100 Thieves, they've got ults that right now Ego Death can't answer. Momentum, though, at 84%. He is getting close. Far, though, couldn't be farther away from his ult at only 32 seconds left, Vicky. They've got the Neil, they've got the Goddess, and they got the God in Terra.
Oh, and they lose out on momentum. That means you won't have the Loki. Oh, and Far is so far away from that invisible boundary here. Zatex gets denied again thanks to SJP having the fate of both worlds. Delena, though, having a lot more of a better outcome since there is no counter to deal with what Ego Death had to work with versus Delena's Dance of Butterflies.
Honestly, though, Zatex using that was good. They got that ult out, and at least now the support ults, well, Harvey's coming up with the Eternal Bomb, but they do have time here to push yet again. That walk back so quick, so this is going to be a tough task. They can't lose anybody. They can't stagger early. 100 Thieves got to keep the team locked in together here as a lot is about to come their way. The Supernova, any moment, momentum going to be copying early. Can they get the opening pick with Terra? That's made the difference.
Oh, but once they're getting out of line of sight of the Psionic Seduction, though, gets the copy from the Loki just so that way they can sort of re-engage. Overtime taken away. They have to stay on the point, though. They have to stay on the point. They have to stay on the point. No.
A Thieves 9. I can't even. They had that. I mean, TTK with the perfect block on the Meteor. Yet again, we saw this in domination. The team can't believe it. If we could see the player cams, they've got to be frustrated. They had that completely in their hands.
I am in shambles. In shambles. Imagine. Everyone is so invested. I mean, I get it. You get invested in your fights, but not like back to back. Like it just happened. Map number 1. That's literally the reason why we have a tied series in our hands. And then you fail to get it to the finish line.
Yeah, I know. It's like getting all the Infinity Stones, putting on the gauntlet, and then it like slipping off. At this point, it feels like we saw this with the pick ban phase with them before. They missed a ban. It feels like this team is so great, but just some of these basics. It's like you got to have these fundamentals in, and that is just one back. I mean, either way, it was a very good push, but we just saw this happen, Vicky, I believe with FlyQuest, with Nemesis here, as they gave them a little bit of space, and Ego Death took every bit of it to win this point.
And TTK is playing out of his mind, by the way. Like, these choke slams to deal with Zatex, like, the damage output is there. You get off the point. We see what Terra is doing, adding the T to 100 Thieves, but it's when you're splitting your focus so consistently up into the skies, you have to look at the other side. It can make it really hard.
Yeah, TTK, Nevix, they're the best Vanguards in the game, in my opinion. Just insane what they can do. There's so many good ones out there, but just constant, just greatness that you see from both of them there. As now teams playing in, now 100 Thieves definitely going to play angry after what just happened there. And I love the dive approach from Ego Death. They're able to do so much here. Last time Sombo got picked early here, but not this time. Zatex getting Terra down. They've got the biggest threat out right away.
Oh no. Oh no, 100 Thieves, they're fumbling here. Ego Death, they're gonna be the ones to steal this point instead. And they're gonna be able to walk this back, but 100 Thieves, at least with this timing, with Terra being on the strange just to activate the portal, this is gonna be a quick re-engage from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Vinny on Captain. That's going to be tough to take down. Captain Survival. TTK going in, showing the threat that he is in the diamond form. Throwing the kicks out there, getting the quick picks now. We've got Self going against Delena. Delena's main job is to make Self uncomfortable. In verse, though, it's going to be Self putting down the flames of justice there on Delena here. We've got Eternal Bond coming out. Harvey keeping the team alive. Plenty of pressure right now. Momentum going down early. That's a massive pick. Far is still far from the ult. This is going to be a cleanup job from 100 Thieves, or at least a pushback.
Big focus on from Harvey, too. That's the second time we've seen Harvey do this with the Eternal Bond, getting right behind the enemy and getting very aggressive, being on that cloak. Even bigger to be able to now retake this point when they were so close to getting this payload to move.
Yeah, and at this point, they have all the ults they need. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, they've got the script written out. They just got to read it and deliver here as now Dance of the Butterflies going out. Team getting all together. Look at TTK trying to get that grab. Once again, we've seen it once. We'll see it again here. Soko gets the trade. Both Psylocks out of the fight. Both teams not having the access to a duelist.
As the Eye of Agamotto instead has found 3, but has not found the KO. Even bigger with the dance up and the survivability help from momentum cycling that in combination from Far's invisible boundary earlier, but coming into the fight a little late after getting taken out first is Delena. Dance of the Butterflies could be matched that with Zatex, who also gets another pick, but it's Delena finding momentum himself.
The trades are perfect. He's going for 4, and he gets the execution. Now both duelists are out. Strategist to follow. Zatex trying to keep something rolling for the team. He's going for the dash, the slice. They do have the pressure, but it's not going to be enough. 100 Thieves, they survive a gauntlet of ultimates there.
Whew, they had to make the comeback. They saw it here. They don't want to be the 109 C9 situation. They've held back Ego Death from getting this payload out of the garage, and Harvey's got the Eternal Bond again.
Unbelievable hold there. Incredible, especially because Psylocke with Delina there, that old Loki can counter it so good with those clones out. It doesn't matter, though. He finishes it up with the shotgun. The Psylocke is armed with it. Rivals here. Self now trying to throw down something, and this would be a massive early pick. Self kept alive by far, and now we got the Eternal Bond. Harvey getting things started. 53 seconds. One way or another, we're going to find out who wins. SJP with a huge trade once again. Vicky Soko is the only one with the ult.
Terror Cave to follow up. 200 Thieves are holding forward. This time around, they can get away with it. You have less than 40 seconds now on the clock. Ego Death have that re-engage from far in the invisible boundary.
33 seconds right here, right now for one of these teams to go up 2 maps to the 1. This is going to define the momentum they need. Sombo going in, looking for more, gets the 1-2, crush and feasting on 100 Thieves. Terra, though, doing what kings do, what superstars can do with the pump from a... Oh my gosh, Vinny going down.
Wow.
They're going down. Goodness.
With Terra getting the Eye of Agamotto on the backline of Ego Death, while the rest of Ego Death just plant their feet on that point, they get the time moving, they get this payload moving, and they're already getting to position to buy in some space around that next corner.
I'm just speechless, man. Again, Terra, he can see 4 million outcomes. Still, unfortunately, does not get the dub on that one. He can play anything at this point. Now, as the teams are pushing in, TTK, Vinny, Terra, we got triple Vanguard still. Terra staying on the strange. Soko pushing forward. Delena going for the back line right now as he's got the Dance of Butterfly in return. The team's grouped up. He's going to save it. The patience is great. Zatex goes down. Delena's looking for his opportunity and waiting.
TTK has just been so crazy at just countering the Psylocke. Like, Zatex is having issues trying to get set up because of this Emma Frost alone. Psionic Seduction to try to keep them alive and put in the pressure around the corner, while Vinny, Freedom Charge now is going to be able to hold forward while Sambo's trying to dismantle this backline. Delena, Dance of Butterflies now coming in as Self with the Supernovas, trying to focus down on Delena. Finally gets it with some help from far. Oh, huge Eye of Agamotto
for both teams, and Terra opens the eye and closes the door right now on the second point for Ego Death. Every team using everything they had, abilities activated, just insanity.
This is crazy. We still see Sambo, who had used the ultimate actually over to the other side, a little late there, but 100 Thieves, these retakes have just been insane.
I mean, it's the best word for it here now. Soko moving in, trying to get something for this team. There's only a minute left. That Thieves 9 won't matter if they can't even make it to the second point here. They've got what they need to get done. The defensive effort held as TTK is feasting and farming that beam. Going down to 44 now, farming it back up. Grabs the crystal pole, going on Soko now at this point. If you look at Ego Death, it's going to be tough to match this momentum getting close.
Harvey needing a little bit of help, backs away, gets the support that they need. SJP is about to have the fate of both roles right now, while Self looks around. Momentum, who had used up that Luna Snow ult in the copy of the Loki. It's a dance-off here. You talk about Coachella, well, all the lights in the sky as Zatex has a Dance of Butterflies, but they have to deal with TTK and the Psionic Seduction first.
Both worlds going on at the same time. The dance floor is heading out as far now. It's got the Disappear up and ready to go. But right now, both teams throwing everything out like it's the end game. And it's going to be for one of these teams as SJP, TTK get the pick. Vinny, 100 Thieves follows at this point. It's going to be it for Ego Death. If they can't touch, they won't be able to touch. Zatex, though, on the top, gonna get a small poke, gonna get a little belief in this team, point to the sign and say it. They can do it here as the Dance of Butterflies looks to clean up shop for Zatex. Time ticking down, yellow left, Vicky. Not a lot as the team does get back.
And that Sambo, who actually was able to contest there with the Venom ult, still staying alive somehow. Zatex, too, being able to get healed back up to full health, but no strategy ults from Ego Death. 100 Thieves, too, on the other side, don't have an answer against the Supernova. They're falling like flies as Ego Death find 2 picks. 100 Thieves made it need to make some desperate changes here as TTK try to back away.
Ego Death, they gotta stay on that point. They don't want the same result. They were down but not out. This team has grit. They have ice in the veins, but they're gonna have to do it one more time here. They used a lot of ult economy on that. Soko gonna have that Meteor Imp. Terra throwing down the portal. Team jumping in. Only a slight 0.12 left.
Are you kidding me? Overtime also taking away Harvey with the Eternal Bond. This Soko ult needs to go crazy, and he gets Harvey. This is the win condition. situation in favor for Eagle Death, and Momentum has the invisible boundary. SJP with the clutch dance off, but guess who's gonna have their ultimate next? It's gonna be Far with the next invisible boundary.
Is dropping the buzzer beater as the time's at 0.12. The sliver of overtime, just nothing left for both teams. Delena gets the pick on Momentum. Far's got it up. Dance about to place out. Agamotto to follow. It's 100 Thieves coming with the cleanup. Oh my God. Incredible display from both teams, but it's 100 Thieves going up 2-1.
The triple Vanguard work, staying on that strain, seeing TTK on the Emma Frost. It holds them back, and that's with the staggered ults following up against Ego Death, and those support ults maybe wanting to wait and hold into that invisible boundary just a little bit longer, but the nerves are high, and you're still dealing with the psionic seduction in your direction where you have to get out of the line of sight to use your ult.
I'm left speechless, both on Yggdrasil and on that map. You could not have asked for a tighter finish looking at both teams and the effort pumped out from each of everybody on all of the teams there. I mean, looking at 40K from Self, beautiful job, and then just Terra. It's showing that he can do it all, hurt hand or not. You know, get rid of all my duelists, fine. I'm going to play Doctor Strange and Clutch.
I just can't. Terra, like, what can't you do, I guess, at this point, right? Like, you play the triple Vanguard, it works out. You have 15 final hits. Yes, we saw the swap up, but we see the damage output too. That Eye of Agamotto hit 3 or 4 or so. I believe it hit 3. It was insane. Then we got to see Sambo. At one point, we saw the Venom ult that looked like it was honestly wasted before retreating back to the rest of the team. But then the second ult that we saw from Sambo to retouch the point to force the overtime was incredibly clutch. But even cycling through these ultimates, it's so hard to deal with TTK being on this Emma Frost, constantly choke slamming your divers.
Swear it's just like Infinity War when Strange looks at Tony and holds up the 1. There's only one outcome that can get the job done, and it's Terra on Doctor Strange. How poetic and just incredible. I mean, there was no time left. Zatex just barely touching a pixel to keep it alive, and talking about a pixel, you can't make it up. I've said this a couple times. Kevin Feige, he's here. He's script writing because 0.12 meters, Vicky. Are you what?
Literally, you could see it by a pixel. Like, how close it was. Overtime also just on a slip.
Ego Death has almost won a lot of these, right? So it's a tough call on the save there, but ultimately getting that Luna is going to really help them on this map. They got a game plan going in, and Jitward has these guys prepared. Emma with the save. TTK has just been, honestly, some of the best Vanguard play I've had the opportunity and the privilege to cast here on Emma Frost right now, as both Psylocks looking to get banned.
Hovering just before, yep, the double Psylocke ban, and you get to save the Emma Frost, that's fine, but you won't be able to get the mental projection. Team up having the Psylocke within your own team before we get to see hovering over that Loki. I do really like this for 100 Thieves. This is just going to enable Harvey all over again.
Now, they had to do that. They got rid of the Loki last time. At this point, it's like you almost need to get rid of the Luna, but you know, they're opening a lot of more Terra's picks, so they are going to give them the 24 seconds, Vicky. They're going to shut down Terra, but give their insane strategists, some of the best in the nation, the pick of the litter.
Seeing what the next... Okay, it looks like maybe a protection on the Lokis from both sides, and if they do get this, they're the ones that get to pull through with what you were mentioning before. That 24 seconds of invincibility just goes so hard for a lot of these fights. We saw the difference before. They're hovering over the Magneto, which, okay. Yep, they try to prioritize the Magneto, so you know what? If you want to get the ban on the other side, that's fine.
Only 1 second left on that save. Looks like they were a bit back and forth of what they want to do right now. I'm going to give a lot of favor towards 100 Thieves in the pick and ban phase this time around. It's going to be tough to match not only two strategists, but the two best at it. Now, they got rid of... Wow, so flip the script here. Instead of the Terra bans, okay, this is going to be interesting, as now Self doesn't have access to a lot of his favorite heroes.
Yeah, no Torch, like we've been saying for the rest of these last few matches. And then looking on the other side, no Psylocke, no Black Panther, no Pun. I mean, the autofocus is crazy. Sambo also hovering to see what they could do differently here, because that Venom, you know, into TTK and the Emma Frost has just been such a key factor to 100 Thieves' success. It could be easy to let it slip by, but TTK has been the pivotal key on 100 Thieves in stopping a lot of these different approaches from Ego Death with this Emma Frost.
Yeah, guys, listen, these graphics, they don't tell the story because these maps have been razor tight. Just absolute display of perfection from both teams. Spider Island is our 4th map late into the night. We're going on 8 hours of action here in America. And nice. Nice. 100 Thieves, 69%, 31% ego death. Can they get the job done and punch their ticket just like their rival Sentinels?
Nice. I like the faith out here. Possible first map situation in our last series of the day. Winner of the series will punch their ticket in going to China as we get set up on Spider Islands. You know, we went from not casting any Spider Islands before today, Cozy, to now casting 2 maps of Spider Islands.
Lucky us. No Black Panther. No Black Panther, but we do get a change of scenery here. And you know what? We went like Krakoa. We went like 10 for 10 in group stage. No Krakoa for us as well as we look at this beautiful Marvel setting. Shout out to the art team, man. They go off. They go crazy. A couple weeks from season 3. I know they're going to be cooking. Technical pause, as you guys can see. Just a quick recalibration. Teams getting their water, getting ready here as we gaze upon Spider Island.
Looking back at what we had for our bans, though, as we dwell on what to expect in Ego Death's possible last game in the winner side of this bracket. A lot of these target bans, when you have to deal with no Black Panther, no Torch, no Psylocke, by the way, which we saw a pretty strong showcase from Zatex, but was getting shut down pretty consistently versus TTK. I do expect TTK to still play very front like we have seen thus far, and if they do lean towards the Wolverine from Self, because that's really the only thing that Self has to work with, that's going to be a big factor with TTK. With some help from Vinny, these group walls are going to go hard, especially in the narrow corridors before that first checkpoint.
Yeah, I can almost promise you, I mean, we just saw the triple Vanguard on a point of the map that they didn't need to in Central Park. 100 Thieves, they're on defense first. We're going to get the triple Vanguard from them to push forward, force it to 3 fights here, which is pretty rough as we get things about going here for the team. This is everything for the Ego Death team. They showed their emotion, their tears. Can they turn it into triumph, or will they be sent to the lower bracket? And 100 Thieves, the team that's been doing it for over a year now, and they punched their ticket.
You're going to have to deal with this first here. If you're looking at 100 Thieves and the way that they've been playing, there was no Punisher ban, so that's something else that they could consider if they want to change anything up. As we get to see them coming out of the gates, let's get this started. No more technical pauses as 100 Thieves starting things off on the defense with Terra being on the thing, attempting the triple Vanguard hold closer to the spawn room door. Something that we have been able to see on maps like these.
Let's jump right into the action, guys, and it's Madison Square Garden. No, it's not. I was going to say for the haymaker of Terra and the thing. He's down, but the respawn beacon is up, allowing for the mistakes and the aggression. Great job and focus early as Self on Star-Lord. Haven't seen a lot of this. Love what I'm seeing here. And looking at the team cup, Star-Lord, it's Bucky. Can they get it through this triple Vanguard threat?
Self is already boosting up that ultimate charge, though, with Zatex on the other side already having that. Crack and impact, and again we go. But great timing and shutdown from Vinny. Yes, you are indeed group Vinny. Delena, too, with the Sia being able to help support the rest of 100 Thieves right on time.
What? Delena on Rocket? You have Terra on the thing? What the hell? What multiverse are we living in at the moment? This is sick. Ego Death, 3 ults up. Legendary to follow. They've got both strategists, but man, do they want that Zatex ult back. He did farm it pretty quickly here, but Vinny, he's got the imprisonment.
Hey, you can take care of that Psylocke all you want, but the Rocket in this triple Vanguard hold comes in clutch when you have the BRB. We are Groot with the group hug. Sambo still is able to find Harvey, but TTK has kicked way far into that spawn while floating from above. Ego Death, it just leaves Self here, combined together, just backing away into the spawn room doors, but 100 Thieves are just pressing Ego Death into their own spawn.
Where was this strategy and team cup? Yeah, like crumpled up on a piece of paper in a back pocket. I love it. 100 Thieves showing what they can do across the board here. And if you're Ego Death, they've got to focus Delena. Oh, they're getting their picks, but it doesn't matter. The respawn beacon is just bringing them right back. When you got a Rocket, that's your #1 focus as they push in far here with the Eternal Bond. Can they get the point far right now? Not looking like it. Look at TTK with the 5.
Ooh. And the double stun there too onto Sambo, who has the freedom charge here too. So SGP now coming in as TTK with that silent seduction that we saw earlier. Harvey with the reset off the God of Mischief. It's a dance-off, but to the sky, it's going to be Self with the legendary Deleno again, ready with the Sia. Momentum going down. The rest of Eagle Death, though, cannot even find any pigs. They're getting these raw straight hits, but they're just boosting up these support ultimates instead for 100 Thieves.
Clobbered, cleared, and closed. I'm telling you, he's got yellow card blasting. It's closed in time with the clobber in time here. I'm just cracking up. Delena playing Rocket is the antithesis of what Hella is, right? Incredible there. As now we've got Wolverine on the prowl here. Self trying to make a difference here. Right now they're spawn locked. They got this done to them on Midtown. They hated it against Nemesis. They can't have the same result happen to them as the imprisonment comes, and it's looking like the team will. The Vanguard show, get it done.
Oh, the frontliners here of the Vanguard trio. 100 Thieves with TTK. Combine that with Vinny and the Gru ultimate. Are you kidding me? The strangling prison literally strangling the ego out of death.
Wow. I mean, just with the way they play, this would be a tough way to go out. Spawn locked. Can't do anything about it at the moment as TTK and the arms the Vanguards are putting it to Zytex. Wow, with the Kraken impact, but ulted immediately encountered by TTK. It's like he knew it. He read the script, and he's delivering the server admin as we speak. Diamond Form goes up. Kicks go out. Any eliminations? No, because the dance floor's down.
At least Momentum kept the rest of Ego Death alive through that clobbering time from Terra. By the way, Terra has it all over again right now and is going to be able to put on a performance. Coming right in this time, though, it's 100 Thieves that have to deal with it. It is 4 that gets done as Self finally gets some momentum going for Ego Death. Being able to get those 4 individual players from 100 Thieves is huge, but now overtime is ticking down.
You can't stop him. You can only hold him back for so long as Self gets a huge wombo combo. They're going to be able to contest. Terra going on what we know is his main now. Doctor Strange portal comes out. 100 Thieves go in. And right now, Ego Death, they have the ults to counter. SJP is far. Harvey as well. They can get the big Self going down to Vinny taken down by Self immediately, but there's the rest back.
This is what happens when you make these changes here. Self being on this Wolverine. They thought the Starlight was going to come out. Nope, immediately shut down instead. Group hug as Harvey's the first to go out. Terra stuck in the stun, but SJP comes to the rescue with the Eternal Bond. It's going to be answered back, though, from Momentum being on that Loki to get that copy. And so it's just a pathing of purple and reds on their feet. Vinny getting stunned temporarily. Self right now, with some help from Sambo, is popping off. They found SJP. They found Vinny. And maybe too little too late as the overtime still on board. They have to get this payload to that first checkpoint.
The bonds were tight. The bonds were out there with both teams, and just craziness of Zatex. He had the elimination, but it wasn't able to reset. Teams kept alive. Momentum, great job in awareness to find your duelist tucked away in the household there. One sliver left, and look at 100 Thieves. They have everything in the bank. Self's the only thing left here. Far has to get this ult off the internal bond to keep the team alive here. Powers are his, and here comes the dance floor.
This needs to go hard here, and Self needs to stay alive. It's found 4, and it's found 4. No eternal bond to stay alive. Meanwhile, Self is just a yeeting Wolverine in the sky. Literally one shot here, and they've completely wiped Ego Death off this point before they can even get to that first checkpoint.
Oh, it's the Okamoto from Terra. Of course it's him. Of course it's him calling chemistry, call it clutch. 100 Thieves, they are 1 round away and a quick hold to punch their ticket to land.
Dude, it looks so hard to even, like, find your way outside that spawn room doors against 100 Thieves. Like, the triple Vanguard, you have the Rocket getting the respawn with the BRB. I mean, they made the changes at the end. What goes great against a tank? Obviously, the Wolverine, but they still tried it with the Starlord for a bit, and now they don't have any time or that first checkpoint.
I'm just baffled. I mean, at next match, we're going to see Terra play, you know, a strategist. He's going to go and switch on over to who knows what at this point. Delena, we did see Moon Knight a little bit there on, I believe it was Midtown, on the group stage to open things up. So he's not trolling. He's played it with the Vinny. They're just flexing the showcase of heroes that they can all do. And Terra to end it here on Punisher with a poetic ending.
Oh my gosh. Chef's kiss. I was talking about it, like, they didn't have the ban on the Punisher. Terra may have rolled out here on the thing. The triple Deja Vu Vanguard lineup coming out and now making the change that they need, dealing good amount of damage just in case Ego Death try to answer back with something similar.
Yep, this is going to be potentially it for Ego Death. Can they hold on a defense effort of their lives here? Looking what they have, Self going to an Iron Fist. We're really swapping across the hero pool now. Sombo and friends all staying what we've seen them play in the past. Not pushed up at all is so dangerous. Vicky with where the points at right now, and Delina already making light work of it on Zatex.
Oh, but when you're Self and you're trying to make the magic happen on this Iron Fist and trying to isolate the backline of 100 Thieves, Harvey was forced out to use those lamps, and the Ego Death could use that to their favor, depending on the positioning that we currently see from Sambo being on that Captain America. But 100 Thieves are just creating this path uncontested as Ego Death are forced to hold back.
I mean, it's like the plane to China right here. They're just riding it to the end of this point as Terra just gets rid of Sambo right in the path here. There's only so many meters left between them and clutching their path. This team has been through it all. They want to show it all. It comes down to this.
Oh, look behind you, though. Delena getting focused by the Iron Fist. Self is able to get fully up to health. It's going to be the Harvey show, though, with the dance off as Sambo recontest. This time in a different look. You got the Doctor Strange. Soko goes down without using the Meteor M4 as a dance up here. But then you have to think about the Terra show. The 100 Terra on this Punisher to seal the deal for 100 Thieves.
From day one to day done, 100 Thieves are heading to land. And would you have it any other way? Congratulations to this team that has been through it all in the young history, in the year of rivals. My God.
The one time they don't ban them. I mean, you only have so many bans, right? Like, the fact that you can't utilize that Punisher out here, chef's kiss. Now, using it at the very end when you can have it because it's not banned, after you just rolled out with the triple Vanguard on the thing, looking at these stats, Terra with the 12 final hits, followed up with TTK, as I keep highlighting, 20,000 damage alongside Vinny. Groot going so hard in this entry point when it comes to Spider Islands.
Oh man, what is there to say other than greatness, flexibility, clutch, ice in the veins, 100 Thieves. They've shown it so many times in so many championships and rounds on the line. The job's not finished. They know that, but they do get the pressure of going to the big stage off their back. And if you are Ego Death, guys, I know it hurts right now. I know how much you guys wanted this. It's not over. It's not over. You guys still have the run in the lowers. I know you guys got a big fan base. This reset, reload. 100 Thieves are your winner. And they're advancing to the upper bracket. And we've got the rivals. We got 100 Thieves Sentinels. That's going to be an insane match.
Yeah, and you know, this also gives the run back opportunity for Ego Death because now falling down to 100 Thieves means that they're probably going to have to face off against Envy. And after what we saw from week 1, Envy, they did take it pretty clean against them, but don't let the 2 deceive you. It was pretty close, and I feel like this is a completely different Ego Death. They're still playing to the fun strengths that they have from each different player that shines within those respective roles, but they're looking different. They're looking a lot stronger.
Terra, welcome back to the stage. And what's up, team? Congratulations.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? Congrats, man. How's the team feeling? How you feeling?
We're feeling pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Just said it, man. Whether it's Doctor Strange, The Thing, Punisher, they ban all your picks, man. I mean, it seems like you can just about do it all. Outside of that, I just want to talk about you guys have been here since the beginning of the story of Marvel Rivals, and now this team gets to make history heading to land. How do you guys feel?
We feel really great about this. We didn't think there was gonna be a LAN this year happening anytime soon. But now after like hearing how big of the game is being invested is like, it's pretty surreal.
Wow. And you're one step closer to being there. First off, I hope you're feeling a lot better with your hand going into today's matches. Like, that was crazy hearing what, you know, the performance that you put on for us yesterday. And then being able to do it all over again this time around. Playing a lot more flexible, I feel like, man. You rolled out on that thing, and, like, Delena came out on the rocket. That was a great hold. Usually very common in maps like that. Can you talk to us a little bit about your experience playing against Ego Death? They're a fan favorite team. Your thoughts if you've noticed anything different from this squad moving forward?
Ego Death's a really good team. They have they're very versatile with they're pretty versatile with what they play, but they're mainly a dive specialist team. Like they prioritize dive over anything, which is kind of like their downfall. So if you just take out most of their most of the things that they're comfortable on, they just don't perform how they usually do against some of the other teams that they saw that they played against earlier in the tournament.
And I mean, listen, look, he's got like a cape like a king over there. You guys swapping and getting TTK over to Imma, just putting a firm stomp there on the, on what he was able to put together. Obviously, usually Mag, Doctor Strange, no, it was you there with Agamotto's, by the way. What the hell, man? Those are insane finishes there. But I've got to say, job's not done. You guys are going against Sentinels. You've been there before. You guys are, I call you guys the rivals of Marvel Rivals, right? Even though you guys are, it's all, fun banter, but they got the last laugh somewhat in that MRC. Right now it's you guys. What do you feel about going into that team?
We feel really good going into their team. Obviously, scouting and looking into it, we obviously know what we're going to expect. We obviously know what we're going to play. So it's just going to be like a good old match, like the good old days.
Love to hear it, bud.
Man, and like looking at the way that everything is shaped up, I mean, what was your opinion looking at how the matches from yesterday played out, and now looking at the teams that have already gone home, like both seed 1 teams like out of the tournament? Did you expect this to happen?
Low-key did, because FlyQuest was going a little bit too crazy on Twitter. Job wasn't finished or anything. They got too overzealous over just seeding. This is when it really matters. And Nemesis has always been a good team. Like, I was actually surprised that Nemesis lost to Shroud X, because they've had a really good record against them recently. I think